I can email them if you want. Did we get one time before, right?
Moniz.
Oh, look at him. Say,
You could say something. He's like, hey, is that Jim? What's he doing?
I don't see Chris. We may have to all be, we can move our chairs.
No, I could go on your side.
I hope we don't have to.
Oh, do we need that? Oh, is that for this?
Yeah.
For the mouse, yeah, I hope we don't have to reboot it.
Oh,
Okay.
there you go.
Like it hurt it.
Well,
Yeah,
Frank is.
there you go.
You see, Frank is on mute too. Okay, I guess I will
Brooklyn?
mute us. Okay.
Like the one that-
Oh, there you got full screen. Yeah.
Okay, let's see the
Let's stick
sound.
out the food here, baby.
Oh, wait a second.
Okay.
Good.
I want to
It
see.
sounds like, this one.
Sarah, you should mute everybody.
Okay, let's.
Okay, I'll come
No,
to your
you
side.
stay. No, you stay there.
I'm gonna-
We'll come to your side.
Honey, I'll just listen. I don't care. So just turn it so they can see it.
Well, I'll get it
Yeah, I'll
on
just listen.
their side.
Like, who are
Hi, everybody. Hi, guys. Welcome to Taste of Sonoma at Home Quarantine Kitchen with Bricola Vineyards. I am Jesslyn Jackson, Director of Membership and International Programs at Sonoma County Vintners. I've been with the organization about 5 years. We're excited to take our Taste of Sonoma event, which has previously been hosted over Labor Day weekend and drives about 2,000 consumers into the area, into your own home. And so we have a whole lineup of Taste of Sonoma at Home that we've been hosting over the month of September. Taste of Sonoma at Home showcases Sonoma County's most renowned wineries and chefs, with culinary enthusiasts participating in interactive things at their own home. We're really excited that this month-long immersive lineup will continue in the next couple weeks. To check out our programming, get some recipe pairings, and enjoy some Sonoma County wines. You can visit www.tasteofsonoma.com. A few programs to be on the lookout for. We have It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhoods, a webinar featuring our Russian River Valley Neighborhoods Initiative, and that will be at 4 p.m. this Friday. And we also have Harvest Beyond the Grape, a focus on farming techniques of Sonoma County, and that will be next Friday, September 25th at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We also have another interactive culinary program that will be All-Star Chef Collaboration, hosted and sponsored by Francis Ford Coppola Winery. That's next Wednesday, September 23rd at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You'll notice in the chat feature, we're going to include some of the links to our social media handles. So if you are able to participate with us, please take screenshots and share some images and use our hashtags and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I'm really excited to be here today. I was told I was just going to do a welcome, and all of a sudden I'm cooking and being a part sous chef at Bricoleur Vineyards. But
A real chef. Come on, not a sous chef.
I know. I know we almost need subtitles for my very southeastern accent, so I apologize for that. But I actually grew up with a family of bakers, and I'm the big disappointment that moved out to the West Coast to work in the wine industry. But I'm really excited to be at Bricoleur today, one of our newest additions and great addition to Sonoma County. They're located boutique small wine production in the Russian River Valley in Windsor, California. Definitely have a couple other properties that they source from. They have Kick Ranch in Fountain Grove District, and you're gonna have to help me out with Alexander Valley one.
Demosthenes Vineyards.
See, that's way beyond my speech pattern. So, but they just opened their big property on May 23rd of this year, and definitely a wide portfolio of wines, Chardonnay, Pinot, various rosés, and Cabernet as well. We're really excited to be here today. Founder Mark Hansen has been a super big supporter of our initiatives with Sonoma County Vintners, including our Sonoma County Vintners Foundation. And we have been really lucky and fortunate to be connected to this family for now a couple of years. So Mark, I'd like to turn it over to you to introduce your team and tell us a little bit more about what you do.
Thank you very much. Welcome all the Taste of Sonoma guests. We're excited to be doing this fun cooking show. I'm here with Chef Shane. Chef Shane was at Chalkboard and Brass Rabbit for about 7 years, and he's been cooking, and we're really excited. He joined us in March. Perfect timing for our grand opening in May. And we now offer a lot of food wine packages on a daily basis on an outdoor tasting. My daughter, Sarah Citron, is hiding out, working the controls, and Farmer Mikey, who grows a lot of our vegetables on the property, is helping out also. So we're going to start off by talking about a couple of our wines. In 2017, we started making wines after selling our grapes to a number of amazing vineyards and amazing wineries for a number of years. So Paul Hobbs, Lando Vineyards, Patsona Hall, Lewis Cellars were buying our grapes. And in 2017, we hired and started partnering with Carrie Gott, who's going to talk with us in a minute. And Carrie, the first year, we made a Rosé Pinot, a Russian River Chardonnay, a Russian River Pinot, and an Alexander Valley Zin from the Demosthenes Vineyards. My wife's great-great-grandfather was Pietro Carlo Rossi, who made wine for Italian Swiss colony in the late 1800s. So as part of our initial line of wines, we had to make a Zinfandel in tribute. The rest are from our state property. In 2018, we acquired Kick Ranch, which is a well-known vineyard producing Sauvignon Blanc, Viognier, Syrah, Petit Syrah, Grenache, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Cab Franc. And we started launching a new set of wines. So tonight, we're going to Rosé of Grenache, which is modeled after Rosés of Provence, which my wife and daughter love. And we're going to pass it over to Carrie Gott, our winemaker. Some of you might have heard of Joel Gott Wines. Well, Carrie is obviously Joel's father, and I'll embarrass him a little. This is his 51st year making wine, and he's an amazing mentor to myself and Tom Pearson, our assistant winemaker. So Carrie, tell us a little bit about our Rosé Grenache we're going to start off with that we're going to taste here.
I think I'm unmute, correct?
No, you're not. You're live.
Well, so can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello, hello, hello. Okay, we're in my wine cellar. It's nice and cool in here. I got bottles of Brie Couleur around me, other wines that I've made over the years. So hello, everybody. It's great to see you all. It's strange to do this, but I've done a whole bunch of these from my wine cellar in my vineyard, whatever. Rosé of the Grenache. Actually, we are fermenting this year's right now. It's in tank. I tasted it just a couple minutes ago because I was at the winery. Right now, it's probably half through fermentation. Its color is, we're going to end up with about the same color this year. It was a great year for Grenache. The Grenache doesn't get real ripe in the vineyard from a color point of view, which is great for making rosé. So we get the grapes up to 23 bricks, press it, settle the juice, and start to ferment. So right now, this year's vintage, exactly 1 year ago, is fermenting away in tank. And then after fermentation is over, we go directly to stainless steel barrels. No oak is involved with this wine because it would cloud and cover up the freshness of the Grenache. So it ends up with a little bit of color, maybe a little hard to see here. But it's just, it's an open fruit. It smells sort of like muted apricots and other fruits. It's fun to make rosé because it's like the first wine that I ever made as a kid. You get to put it on the market relatively early. So we will bottle this probably in February this next year. After simple aging in barrel, we really enjoyed the aging the wine on the lees, the fermentation lees. The lees are the yeast that fermented the wine. It adds body and texture to the mouth and adds a creaminess to the nose. And it's fun drinking wine. We love rosé. I grew up in the world where it was white Zinfandel, which is kind of hard to find white Zinfandel anymore. But that was rosé. This is rosé of a style that is fresh, light, and great. So Shane, what are we having with this?
Are we muted? We good? So we're doing tonight, the theme kind of is like hors d'oeuvres. And so we have a bunch of produce coming out of the garden that Mikey pulled out today. We're going to do sweet zucchini pickles to go with the rosé.
Chef, let's have a toast here.
Yeah.
Jesslyn.
Thank you so much for having me.
Cheers.
I'm excited. Hopefully no appendages will be
For
lost.
those of you that have the bottle, you obviously see the label. For those of you who don't, we highly encourage you to check out this label. It's flying by the seat of our pants. And a lot of people say, how did you come up with that label given COVID? Because it's like the perfect label for COVID times. Well, the funny thing is, you can see from our wines that Mikey's showing us, all of our other wines have the jumbled Brie Couleur logo, which are different colors. And our Rosé of Pinot is a jumbled pink, which we came out with the first year. And when in 2018, we decided to make two Rosés, the Rosé Grenache, we said we can't have two jumbled pink logos. So we decided to play off the definition of Brie Couleur. The definition of Brie Couleur is someone who starts building something without a clear plan, cobbling together a whole piece by piece while flying by the seat of her pants, which is really just a fun definition. You think about life, you think about business, you have a plan, stuff happens, it goes out the window, you have to modify the plan, and we are all in COVID flying by the seat of our pants. So Chef, let's take it away and have the first dish.
Let's do it.
Perfect.
We have a lot of ingredients here tonight. So yeah, the first one we're going to do is the pickled zucchinis. So we have two beautiful squash that Mikey harvested, like an hour ago? And what we're going to get started on first is the brines. We got some pots right here. If you want to grab yours, bring it over.
All right.
So we have 2 cups of apple cider vinegar that's going to go in here.
I can pour things.
For
This is an
those
easy
of
start.
you that have never joined us before, we do a quarantine kitchen every so often. During COVID, it was every week. Now it's about once a month. During winter, we're going to gear back up to once a week. But our job is to slow chef down and to be normal in the kitchen cookers and to kind of learn about tips that we can learn in the kitchen from the chef.
Absolutely. And if you're cooking along, turn your video on so we can say hello. And if you have anything you want to say, Sarah's got us all muted, but just chat into the chat screen and she's keeping up on that. So the next thing we're putting in here is a cup of sugar. You think vinegar and wine, it's not super common of a pairing. So we're balancing this out with some sweetness. So it'll kind of work. The acid level is gonna be really nice with the rosé. Next thing we have going in is our spices. So this is turmeric, yellow mustard seed, and some Coleman's ground mustard. We're gonna throw those in there. Turmeric's gonna give it a really nice color.
It's pretty nice that he measured it all out for you, huh?
This is easy.
Yeah, you gotta wait till the third one. You gotta chop it up a little bit. Then we're gonna put in 2.5 tablespoons of salt. And we're gonna put this on the stove. So we're gonna bring this up to a simmer and then we'll pour this over the zucchini after we get them all chopped up. Over medium high heat. It's gonna take us a couple minutes to cut this up, so we're going nice and slow. So we're gonna take this, you can cut this a number of ways. You can do it where if you have a mandolin at home, you can slice it on the mandolin, do it nice and thin.
Mandolins are dangerous, chef.
They're very dangerous. Some of my worst injuries have come off of a mandolin. I think the way we're gonna do it, we're gonna cut it in spears, almost like a dill pickle. So
Okay.
we can start by cutting off the top and the bottom. And so we'll cut this in half. These are pretty big.
Started with the small one.
Oh, that's okay. Perfect. And then we're just gonna cut like spears out of it. So cut it in half. And then when it's down on the board, what you want to do is just kind of cut from the middle out and maybe get like 4 or 5
Okay.
just little pickle looking spears like so.
We'll see how this goes.
It's gonna taste the same no
Good.
matter how you cut it.
The good news is the chef has the knife sharp. The bad news is watch your fingers.
Exactly. I had some people checking in on me to make sure I wasn't going to lose any appendages. I didn't drink too much wine before this, so.
This is our like probably 15th one we've done. I've only cut myself on 1 episode, so far the track record's all right.
And the audience didn't even notice, right?
They did. Somebody called me out on it. Yeah. Like, why is he wearing a glove now? Don't worry about it.
Actually, it's really funny. I will say, I'll embarrass him greatly. One of his buddies is Rich Aurelia, the ex-San Francisco Giant, and he sent him a text and say, I saw the bleeding finger. What happened?
Yeah, we all make mistakes.
So how much is actually grown on site in your own garden?
We have a lot. So up front, there's about 12 beds that are flowers and herbs. In the back, there's another 30 beds with a greenhouse. Mikey has created a lower garden that's more like in the ground rows. That's probably what, like.
We got 9 50-foot beds down low.
And then, I mean, fruit trees all over the property. We got apples and peaches and pears and pomegranates and persimmons.
And figs.
Figs for days.
And blueberries and blackberries and raspberries and boysenberries. And
We got all the things.
I think all kinds of berries.
Yeah.
And we have Thompson seedless grapes in addition to grapes for our wine.
Which we just made some raisins out of yesterday. So on the second one, we can cut maybe slices just so we can see the different
Okay.
ways you can do this.
I went ahead and cut. So
Oh, you're already, you
I
beat me.
know, I
You're supposed to
failed.
slow me down. Jeez.
I know that when people are nervous, they talk fast. But apparently, I cut fast.
I know. This is
Oh,
great.
he's mixing it up. He's doing it differently.
Yeah, so you can do it this way. Like I said, the mandolin, get it nice and thin. They eat well that way too, but this is nice. You can put these on sandwiches. Or just like if you're putting out like a little hors d'oeuvre platter when people arrive for a party, right? We got these in here. Our brines are just about up to a boil.
I think we need a toast before we do that,
I
you
think
know,
that's a
just
good
to
call.
Yeah.
enjoy this wine. Cheers.
Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lovely rosé. There's a lot of rosé of Pinot Noirs, and I know you guys produce one, but the Grenache is just, and I definitely get that Provence style, just really light bodied, approachable with food. It's lovely.
We joke around that our rosé of Grenache, our Flying by Seat Over Pants, is our daytime rosé. You drink it by the pool, take it on a picnic, drink it anywhere you want, just drink it. And then our rosé of Pinot, we say, is our nighttime rosé, a little more acidity, a little more sophisticated with a cork, a little more sophisticated label. But the key is rosé all day.
Exactly. Can't go wrong that way.
So our brine has come up to a simmer. So now we're just going to bring it over and pour it into our pan with our zucchini. And a lot of these recipes we're doing tonight are actually it's vinegar. Better the second day. Like if let these cool down, these are going to be really nice tomorrow. Yeah. So maybe for the best party ever, we can all have some pickles tomorrow. So that's pretty much it for this. We're going to plate it up as like a little platter here at the end. But if we want to have Carrie talk about the next wine, Mark.
Perfect.
Sure.
Yeah, so we're moving into the Sauvignon Blanc.
So Carrie, tell us a little bit about our Sauvignon Blanc from Kick Ranch.
Oh, Sauvignon Blanc, excuse me, I've made since a kid. And also I have to make Sauvignon Blanc because my wife, Vicky, does not really enjoy Chardonnay. I make a lot of Chardonnay, but that's not her thing. So, but we have, since I've been a kid, have always made, I don't think I've missed 1 or 2 vintages in my life of making wine without Sauvignon Blanc. So I've learned various styles of Sauvignon Blanc in various areas in the state, Amador County foothills, down in San Ynez Valley, Sonoma here. There's a lot of different styles, but California generally grows one style of Sauvignon Blanc grapes. It makes a non-herbal style of Sauvignon Blanc. It's always fruity. And so I play off the fruitiness of the Sauvignon Blanc. So we get the grapes up to medium ripeness, call it 23.5 or 24 bricks. What that means is we end up with a wine that's around 13% alcohol, which is a good amount for Sauvignon Blanc. Get the grapes ripe, bring them to the winery, whole cluster, press it, get the juice away from the skins, settle the juice and ferment it. There's no really tricks to it. I don't want really high alcohol. I do not want to put a lot of wood in Sauvignon Blanc. So we start the fermentation in in stainless steel. And then we, after it's going for a few days, we move it to stainless steel barrels and 1 or 2 old French oak white barrels, Burgundy barrels. And that becomes what it ages in. I really like the concept of, after the wine is dry, leaving it on the yeast that had fermented it, and which we call lees. And you get a creaminess and a texture and a style in the nose that makes great Sauvignon Blanc. I've done it for years. I think it really works with the Kick Ranch Sauvignon Blanc. So this is the 2019. We bottled it 6-8 months ago, and it shows the style of Fountain Grove District Sauvignon Blanc. It tastes great, and this wine will continue age for years and get more texture and style in the nose. So the current vintage of the Sauvignon Blanc is in stainless steel barrels right now. It is just gone dry, which means the fermentation is over. And in the next few days, we will settle it down, high top the barrels, and start to age it. And then over the next few months, we will every 3 weeks stir the lees, bring the yeast that fermented the wine back up into the wine, which then adds the texture and style. So it's a great style of wine to make. I love making it. And Kick Ranch Sauvignon Blanc is great Sauvignon Blanc, a little bit of hillside vineyards, great clones, which is the genetic history of that clone or that style of Sauvignon Blanc or that heritage of Sauvignon Blanc. And it's in barrel and looks really good. This is last year's edition. Enjoy.
Thank you, Carrie.
Cheers, Gary.
I will tell you that many people that come to the winery and they enjoy our food wine pairings find the Sauvignon Blanc just unbelievable. Many Sauvignon Blancs are 100% stainless. I think Carrie using a small amount of neutral French oak just kind of smooths the finish, and it is a real differentiator. And you know, hats off and cheers. And so, Chef, what are we going to pair with this?
So this one we are doing with a chilled peach and cucumber soup.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, this is one that we've been serving it at the winery. One of the experiences we do during the day is our sip and savor, where it's 6 bites with 6 wines. And this one has been on for a few weeks now. And it's one of my favorite pairings with the Sauvignon Blanc.
Great transition from like summer hotter weather into that cooler weather.
Exactly,
fall, yeah.
exactly. And this is obviously end of season on our peaches. We had most of the harvest earlier in the year, but we did have a couple hanging on. So it's going to transition next into just a cucumber soup, because the cucumbers are just outrageous how many cucumbers we have right now.
Set up a little farm stand.
Seriously, I know, we've talked about it.
Make a little extra money off of it.
Yeah. So first thing we're going to do is peel our cucumbers. If I can locate my peeler. There it is. You can cut both ends off. Mikey, you want to tell us, do a voiceover on what kind of cucumbers we're using?
Sure. These are called Punakira cucumbers.
You have to do this.
They are an Indian variety cucumber. The skins are thick and rigid almost. They taste, if you let them come and get fully ripened, you can eat the skins, and it's a bit like an apple. Provides that kind of texture, but it's not necessary to keep the skins on. I think they're really pretty. They're super prolific, and they have a good flavor. So
yeah, they're really, really nice. They're sweet. They're really, really crunchy. And there are applications where I'll leave the skin on. This just isn't one of them. It makes the soup a little muddy in your mouth. So we're just gonna chop this up.
Muddy in your mouth doesn't sound very good.
I'm sure there's a good. I got nothing.
You're thinking of kids playing, mud pies or something.
I've seen my son with muddy mouth before. It did not look enjoyable. So we're just rough chopping it. Everything's going into our blender, so we can blend this nice and smooth.
You have a pretty good sous chef here.
I mean,
I'm
I
trying
just
to
don't
keep
like
up with her
peeling.
now.
I don't like peeling things. That's my big one. Now, how many servings are we kind of accommodating right now?
I'd say these recipes are probably like, depending on how hungry your guests are, like hors d'oeuvres for 4 to 6 people.
Okay.
And most of this will last, like the pickles will last for a few weeks. The soup you'll get a solid week on. And then the Cappanada at the end is definitely going to be something that you can set in your fridge for, it's kind of like a preserve, so it'll last for like a month.
Nice.
Peaches, we're just going to cut in half and then chop those up the same as we did our cucumbers. There's no like rhyme or reason, just nice and small so it blends easier.
Tried to go right through that seed, didn't he?
I know. For a girl from Alabama, I never ate peaches till about a couple years ago. So,
wow.
Yeah, I know, kind of impressive that
There's
I made
some
it that long.
amazing peaches from the Sonoma County here.
Oh,
Yes, definitely. Dry Creek Valley, and you guys border on that, is some of the best peaches I've ever had. So
it's amazing. The peach trees we have on property are dwarf peach trees, so they don't look like anything. They're about this tall, and the leaves are so thick you can't see them. But you get in there and you open it up, and they were just loaded. We probably got a couple 100 pounds off of our 20 trees, something like that.
More like 30.
Yeah.
they kind of look like old vine Zinfandel.
Yeah,
like,
totally, right?
root stuff.
All right, so I'm gonna cut this in half down the middle and then just into like chunks.
Okay. handle that.
There you go. Yeah.
So I came to one of your guys' pizza nights. I mean, you're doing a lot, you know, and really well for the taking into consideration social distancing and
Yeah. It's a
and
lot.
you, I mean, to have opened a winery in the middle of this, I mean, you just guys are rocking it. You do the pizza night on Friday nights. You have a whole dinner series
Yep.
that's bi-monthly. Tell me a little bit more about it.
So the pizza nights are more like our family friendly. You know, kids are more than welcome.
My dog was welcome.
Awesome, perfect. Yeah, very much a dog-friendly winery here. You know, that's more, you get a glass of rosé, you can buy other wine, you get a salad, you get a pizza, little sweet at the end. And then we're doing the dinner series, which is typically more of like a themed event. We did one on Julia Child's birthday, featuring recipes from her books. We did a pork themed one, upcoming, our next one on, what is it, date? The next one we have is
A week from Saturday.
September 26th. Yeah, a week from Saturday. And that's going to be featuring farmers Mikey's garden. So it's going to be a vegetarian meal that is 5 courses, food and wine. And these dinners are more for grown-ups. It's more, you know, formal service, food and wine pairings, and they're really fun. We've got plenty of space here to spread out. And so we've been able to, you know, everybody's probably 10 feet is the closest any of the tables are. And it's just,
Most are like 20 or 25.
Yeah.
And it is one of the few events that we say no children or infants. It's adults night out. It's a lot of fun. So what are some of the courses coming up?
oh boy. So we're starting out with a cucumber tartare on the vegetable one. It's going to be like a riff on like a tuna tartare, but we're using the cucumbers.
Very cool.
We've got a winter squash pasta that we're doing with these koji nuts that Mikey grew that are like a cross between a butternut and a kabocha squash. They're just super yummy. And then the entree one is going to be a stuffed eggplant dish.
Very cool.
So the next thing we're going to throw in here is, 2 tablespoons of champagne vinegar.
Okay.
Other vinegars will work in here. It's just going to take it so it's not overly sweet. We want this still to be more of a savory soup. So it's going to take some of the sweetness off that. So it's not like a dessert shot,
Nice.
you know. Then we're going to put a splash actually of the Sauvignon Blanc in here as well.
I could be a little heavy-handed on
Yeah,
this,
right?
so-
Yeah. This could easily turn into a cocktail.
It's part of our wine pairing. So, you know,
Yeah. And then we have our salt right here. We're going to put it maybe like a teaspoon of salt in there.
You like that fine measurement of a teaspoon?
Yeah. 20 years, I can tell you a teaspoon. All right. And then what we're also going to do, so we don't want to, you know, when you blend things, it creates heat. And so we don't want to cook any of this. We want it to be super nice and fresh.
Nice.
So we're going to put a few ice cubes in here. You don't need everything I gave you, but maybe like 8 or 9 ice cubes, just so if it does get warm, it doesn't start to cook our cucumbers or peaches, because that will definitely change the flavor of them. So this is going to get loud. What we're going to do, I'll tell you before we start doing it, because you're not going to be able to hear anything. We have a couple tablespoons of our estate olive oil. And so once we start blending this, we'll slowly drizzle that in, and that'll kind of emulsify into the soup. And that, again, like adding that little splash of vinegar, just gives it that savory edge that takes it from like, you know, a sweet piece of fruit and makes it more of like something that's savory and not dessert.
Nice.
So go ahead and we'll start it on low.
How do you operate the heavy machine?
You got there's a button on the bottom right here. Here, you can use mine in a second. Perfect.
That was easy enough.
And so we can go ahead and pour. We're gonna pour 4 little shots so we can start building our platters. If you have, like, these blenders are obviously, like, you know, commercial. If you have a blender at home that's not quite as strong as these, I would maybe put this through a strainer just so there's no chunks. You want it nice and smooth and creamy. We're gonna pour like
These Vitamix make amazing smoothies in the morning.
they do.
What a pretty color. Nice.
What is the name? Vita, are you cooking along with us?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up if you are.
Vita Harvan.
So then to assemble this, like I said, we can put, you know.
I feel mine a little more decorative.
Yeah, that's cool.
but-
I think you put more wine in yours too.
Oh, you think so? I feel like yours is a little lighter in color. Are you sure that's not the case?
So then to garnish this, I'd like to just kind of accent it with a little fresh estate olive oil. We have 250 trees on property that we make oil out of every year, and it's really, really delicious. And then we're just gonna take some basil from the garden and just do a little torn piece of basil, and that'll be our garnish on there. And that is our chilled
I like it.
cucumber and peach soup.
You've done this before.
A couple times it looks like mine's not gonna look that pretty. I feel like you put anything in a Vitamix, it's gonna be a little bit of an easier process. I can get down with some of that kind of cooking.
I know it's cooking, but we're hardly even cooking.
So
All right.
chef, it's an amazing dish.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Cheers.
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 Cheers, everybody.
Nice Sauvignon Blanc, Carrie.
Delicious.
Really pretty.
All right, so the next dish we're going to do is pairing up with our Chardonnay, our estate Chardonnay.
Thank you.
Carrie, Carrie, why don't you tell us a little bit about our estate Chardonnay that we're going to try?
You're on mute.
You're on
Gary.
mute.
So
One second.
First, we need to get it out of the bottle. So I unmute myself. Here, all the controls. So the Chardonnay is an amazing variety to work with. I've made Chardonnay for years, and it's interesting how many directions you can take Chardonnay and turn it into wine. So this is a classic style, 2018 bricoleur from the vineyard, which is literally just right outside the door where everybody is in the kitchen. And it is a lot of great clones, a lot of different rootstocks, Russian River Valley. It is a style of Chardonnay that shows the terroir, the area and the clone and the variety, but it shows not so much the winemaking, but shows the direction that we took the wine. So we also make an unoaked Chardonnay, which we're gonna have to put it into oak barrels, but this is made in a classic style, whole cluster pressing of the grapes, clean the juice up, start fermentation, put it into barrels, let it ferment, about 35–40% new French oak cooperage. And then at the end of fermentation, we introduce malolactic bacteria to the wine, and we start to go through an ML, which adds creaminess and texture to the wine. Age it for another 8 months and then bottle it. During the time we've stirred the lees, we've made it into the style of great Russian River Chardonnay, and it's a very common way to make it because it expresses the grapes the most. So you just enjoy the fruit, enjoy the style, and it launches itself out of the glass, and it tastes great. So not a lot of story, but it's the way you make great Chardonnay. Enjoy.
Thank you, Carrie. And I can confirm it does taste delicious.
Agreed.
Thank you, Carrie. Yeah, the buttery, oaky, the caramel, you get a little caramel in the finishes. Unbelievable. So as Carrie mentioned, we make 2 Chardonnays, our unoaked and our Rush River Estate. This is really modeled after the French Chablis or Sancerre, and this is a more traditional Rush River. And some people that are not into buttery oaky Chardonnays really love the the unoaked Chardonnay, and it's nice to have both. So, Chef, what are we going to pair with this?
All right, so we're making a little eggplant Cappanada Crostini with some burrata on top. So first thing we're going to do is get so Cappanada is kind of like sweet and sour. We're going to have our savory eggplant and peppers, and then we dress that in a vinegar sugar reduction, and then season it up with some raisins and some pine nuts. And so first thing we're going to start is getting our agrodolce, our liquid reducing. So we have 1 yellow onion that we're going to dice up.
All right.
So we're going to cut the top and bottom off.
Do you cry ever?
Oh, all the
I
time.
cry all the time. Oh, like with onions?
Mainly just
Not
because of the
anymore.
year 2020.
Yeah, seriously. Every day.
No, I will tell you that COVID makes us all cry from time to time.
So we're just taking the skin off. And then what we're going to do to dice this up nice and small is we're going to make some incisions into the onion.
Let me close this out of the way.
Thank you.
So about almost all the way through. Just
Okay.
two cuts in.
Careful there.
Sharp knife.
Wow. Woo. See, I'm not an expert at this.
Here, we'll do it this way. So then let's just cut down.
Okay.
Save our fingers.
So I have to say, that good Southern upbringing. My mom can cook and cut things actually in her hand without a cutting board.
Oh, it
And I'm
makes me
like,
nervous.
it makes me so nervous too. She's done it all her life and she's an expert at it.
Then we're just going to cut across and you get a nice dice. And if it's not perfect, you can just go back and run a knife through it and chop it a little bit.
Nice. Yeah, I've kind of made a mess here.
It's all good. So is the bakery still rolling in and out?
Yeah, so they started basically a donut and cake bakery back in 1974, and so it's been in business ever since. Cash only,
wow.
Really big local following. It started with my grandmother, and my aunt runs it, and my 2 cousins do the heavy lifting early in the morning. And then my mom helps out on the weekends.
That's
So,
awesome.
I
yeah.
still have a weakness for those donuts in the morning.
They're so good.
Oh, so good. I try and limit myself nowadays, but it's hard to say no.
Right.
So then you can just put that, onto a plate. So when we go over to cook it, we can bring it with us.
All right.
You're fine.
That's all
I
good.
know.
You're good.
Hey, you should see my kitchen after I'm done cooking. So tell me a little bit more about what you guys have been doing from a general tasting experience. People can still visit wine country right now and get an amazing, safe, socially distanced experience. And you guys have so many properties, structures on site and different things that you're doing throughout the week. Tell me
Yeah, for sure. So we're doing, we're open Thursday through Monday, 10 to 4, and we're doing, we have a bunch of different food options. There's the sip and savor we talked about earlier. There's also a pared down version of that called Our Roots, which is 4 bites with 4 wines. We have a picnic that we do where it's usually a glass of rosé and then 5 different little, it's usually like a little sandwich, a couple different salads, just kind of focusing on what's coming out of the garden.
Super fresh.
Very fresh.
Nice.
We have a couple different spreads we do that are kind of riff on a charcuterie board with house cured meats and local cheeses. We have another one called the estate spread, which is again focused on the garden, and it's all vegetarian and just different vegetable preparations. We have 2 different pizzas available every day. I mean, it's like, there's a lot of options when you come here. It's fun.
And chef, what about your famous fried chicken sandwich?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Then we got a fried chicken sandwich that
People
is on
come
the
from
menu.
all over hearing about his fried chicken sandwich. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
And so, you know, I would say we have many more food options than the typical winery. So people come, enjoy, sit on a social distance basis outside of our winery barn or our pavilion or our bocce ball rose garden area. Typically, those in 2 or 3 hours, just enjoying the food and wine and the beauty of Sonoma County, which is unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is. The property is breathtaking. And the thing that I'm looking forward to, we got to do one right before the shelter in place started, but is the high-end experience. It's called the Atelier Bricoleur, and that takes place right here in the kitchen. So we have bar stools that wrap around the island right here, and it's 7 courses, food and wine, super fine dining. Just a really fun experience. And so hopefully when indoors is back rolling, we'll start doing those again. But
So my favorite table in any restaurant is the communal chef's table, where you book a table of 2, 4, 6. You kind of join up with whoever's there for the day. And, you know, it's really an intimate experience where you get to just interact with the chef and enjoy our food and wine.
Yep.
What's next in the
All
recipe
right.
here?
So now we got the some celery, about four pieces of celery. And again, we're going to dice this up. So cut it in half and then just cut them into thin pieces so we can dice them. And this is going to be the base for our agrodolce, the sweet and sour part of this eggplant dish.
I shouldn't hover over that knife.
I know. You never know where it's gonna go. So, Mark, you guys have been doing a lot from, you know, foundation perspective and helping, you know, the community out ever since you've been a part of Sonoma County and really started this project with Bricoleur. Tell me a little bit about what else is going on this weekend with the Sonoma County Vintners Foundation.
Sure, we're really excited to be participating in the Sonoma County Wine Auction, which is a virtual event this weekend. Tomorrow is the Sip at Home party, which we're really excited by. There's a number of different wineries that have been selling food and wine packages to enjoy. And it's all leading up to the big virtual wine auction on Saturday. Which is at 4 o'clock Pacific time, I believe. And, you know, Sonoma County Vintners does amazing things through the foundation for the local community. Clearly this year with fires and COVID, there's a lot of people in need. And the foundation just does an amazing job of helping raise money through the community and supplying it to the organizations that clearly could use the money. And so we're excited to be doing our part. Charity and charitable giving is a big part of our mission here at Bricoleur Vineyards. We're hopeful when we're open in normal times that we'll be doing 100, 200 person charity events where we do food and wine auctions, we do farm to table dinners, and we partner with Sonoma County Vintners and a number of other charities in the area to raise money to help people out.
All right, next step, we have some olive oil we're going to put in a small pot over here, about a tablespoon of olive oil. I think when we start sauteing everything, because this is just going to be pretty quick. So we're going to get our onions and our celery in this pot.
Get my burner turned
Yes,
on.
ma'am.
Perfect, thank you.
We're going to add a pinch of salt in here as well. This is just going to help the vegetables release their water inside and help them start sweating down.
Add some black pepper there. Thank you.
So we're just gonna get that started, and then we're gonna add in the rest of our ingredients. So the next thing is gonna go in there. We're just gonna get a pan on the stove and lightly toast our pine nuts. Just brings out the nuttiness. We can do ours in the same pan, and then we'll just split them up. So.
Okay.
Just gonna get a little toast on those. Add these to our pots. Oh, there it goes. We have a little spatula we can start with. And again, this is just getting that this is the base of the flavor for the Cappanada. The star is going to be the eggplant and those sweet peppers. But this is kind of like the dressing for it.
You gave me a couple of easy first hits.
Right, yeah.
And then now
we're getting
it's
serious.
complicated.
Now we're getting really here.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. These don't have to cook down, like, we don't want to caramelize these or anything. We just want to take the crunch off of them. Should happen pretty quick. And you can see the pine nuts are starting to get a little golden brown on them. We're going to go ahead and dump those in. Half for you, half for me. You can easily do different nuts with this. Pistachio, almond works well. So it's starting to, you see the onion starting to turn translucent a little bit.
Smells wonderful.
Yeah, it smells great.
We can go ahead and add some of the rest of our ingredients in here. So we have some golden raisins. We have a little bit of champagne vinegar. We can put both of those in there.
Where do those raisins come from, Chef?
These are not ours. Ours we're saving for, we did just make a bunch of golden raisins, but these are not them. They were painstaking. The process of making raisins is not as easy as I expected. And then there's a little bit of sugar as well, half a cup.
All right.
And then we're just gonna let this cook down while we get all our vegetables chopped up for the rest of this.
I was like, I almost went with salt.
That is salt.
That is salt. All right.
It'll be a very different recipe.
This is again why I'm a disappointment to the family. I can't identify the two.
You're not a disappointment.
All right, so we're just gonna keep this over low heat, and then we'll come back over to the cutting boards and finish.
How could working in wine country be a bad thing?
I know I've got some good connections, you know.
I'm sure back home in Alabama, they're wondering about your recommendations.
I know, definitely. I've got quite a good, encyclopedia of wineries that I can refer to on occasion.
We're gonna let this cook down, and what this is gonna be kind of syrupy, and that's gonna be what we toss our roasted eggplant with. So next, what we're gonna do is prep our eggplant and peppers.
Great.
So we got these beautiful small eggplant that Mikey harvested this afternoon. We're gonna cut the top off, and then we're gonna peel these as well.
You're the peeler.
Okay.
Just find certain applications, the peel, particularly in this dish, it'll get kind of crispy because we're going to kind of shallow fry this, and so the skin, it can hold a little bit of a bitterness to it, but for me it's also a textural thing. I don't like it in the Cappanada. Personal preference. I mean, you could leave it on if you wanted to. It's not going to be terrible. These are beautiful fresh eggplant that don't have any bitterness to them. For me, like I said, it's more of a textural thing.
Right.
Peeling these, and then once these are peeled, what we're going to do is.
How does he do that so fast?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out.
Long and smooth strokes. Huh?
That's right.
What's the max number of people you've ever cooked for at one time? Like one fell swoop,
Oh boy.
formal dinner.
Here we did, what was the one we did for the weekend, this weekend last year? It was 115 or something like that. And we were hoping to do that again this year, and here we are. But no, I've done dinners for, I think the most I've done is like 250.
250.
And it was an undertaking for sure.
Yeah.
You got to have the right facility.
He definitely makes it look a lot easier than you would expect.
I'm sure.
Lining it up. And our wine club dinner last year, which was the second weekend of October, which we call our Founders Club, was about 130 people and big, long table. Everyone was food, wine, farm to table, you know, just kind of sharing dishes, sharing wine. It was just unbelievable. It was a 5-course meal. This year, our wine club is going to be the second weekend of October. And because of COVID, we're going to do it a little differently in a COVID-friendly way. You have tables of 2, 4, 6, maybe some tables of 8 if people are comfortable. And you come and enjoy. Because of COVID, we're going to do it over 2 nights. So we're going to limit it to 80 people each night, spread out in a very social distance way, but we're excited by that coming up.
I got the email about your Founders Club. Tell me a little bit about that. I know you're kind of getting to capacity on that, if not already.
So our wine club, which we started a little over 2 years ago, maybe just a little bit longer than that, has been growing nicely. You know, even during these COVID times, we have an initial group of people that we call our Founders Club members, which have been with us since the beginning through construction, through COVID, through our grand opening, which never really happened. And so we're going to cut our our Founders Club off at the end of this month. It's going to be around 750 people. And that group will always get some unique events and unique dinners over time. Clearly, we'll have an additional wine club, which we'll announce soon, which will be a lot of fun. But there's a real incentive for people to join the Founders Club here in the next couple of weeks to kind of be part of this special elite, initial group.
Very cool. How can they find out more information about that?
Sarah can text out through our website, www.bricolorvineyards.com, and we'll put some information in there about our wine club.
Very cool.
All right, the next step we're going to do is start dicing this up. So like medium dice.
Okay.
So pieces about like so.
Okay.
You know, it's going to cook down pretty significantly once we start sauteing it. And again, you can do this in larger dice if you're more comfortable cutting that way. It's all going to eat the same way. Eggplant, once you roast it off, it gets really soft, regardless of the size. And for me, this
I didn't get mine out of your way. Sorry about that.
Thanks.
The pairing on this one for me really comes down to the burrata that's going to garnish this. Like burrata and Chardonnay is just kind of a no-brainer for me.
Well, burrata cheese is just melts in your mouth.
It's so good.
And where's our burrata come from tonight, Chef?
This stuff is, that's a good question. We'll find out later on. My favorite burrata, it wasn't available today, but it's made down in Los Angeles. Shoot, I can't even think of the name of it right now. You really threw me for a loop there.
Sorry about that.
But I know the one from SoCal is really yummy. There's one locally. I think the one we have might be the one out of Berkeley, Belgiosa.
The reason I ask is there's so many amazing cheeses in Sonoma County. So
there really
a lot
is.
of the cheeses we feature on a daily basis of the winery are right here local. Pennyroyal Farms, Cowgirl.
Yep.
Which other ones
Shavu, yeah, up in Healdsburg. Or Chanel is one I like to use as well. They're in Sonoma. We've got that prepped. We're kind of keeping eyes on our reduction. It's looking good. It's not quite where we need it, but it's getting close.
I hope you're keeping eyes on mine. 'Cause
Yeah, I got
haven't checked it.
You can tell by the sound it's making where it's at. All right, next we're gonna prep our peppers.
Okay.
So again, same sort of dice as the eggplant. We're just gonna cut off each side,
Okay.
like 4 sides, far out enough so that we're not getting the seeds.
Okay.
And then you'll have a little nub left at the bottom. You can cut that off as well. You can just compost the rest. And then we're just gonna cut that into strips.
This is a trick I never knew.
Yeah.
I always
cut the top off and then
cut the
pull it
top
out.
off, and then you mess with the seeds. And
I mean, I kind of failed at that, but I can.
I saw Mikey do a trick I hadn't seen on the last Cooking with Country we did, which is our normal quarantine kitchen, where he kind of rolled the whole thing, and that was kind of cool too.
Thank you, Whole Foods.
Chef, when is our next quarantine kitchen?
Our next one is going to be October 4th at 4:30, and I can't remember what he's cooking that night. Do you remember what it is? But that's with our sous chef Evan. His nickname is Country, and if you know him, you'll know why. But he's taken over. We were doing this every week when shelter in place first came down. We really couldn't do anything. And so, okay, cool. So the next one he's doing is pumpkin risotto.
Great fall dish.
And that's going with our unoaked Chardonnay. Mikey's got a whole pumpkin patch growing over on the side of the hill by the pond on the property that's really going to produce a lot of pumpkin. He's got a ton of different kinds out there.
We mix it in with the eggplant?
Keep
Keep it separate?
Yeah.
Okay, I could do that.
I jumped the gun a little bit.
It's my fault. I handed it to you. We're the novices. Chef wasn't giving us good direction.
I know, my fault.
You know, one of the things about our wine club, you asked the question, was the Bricola Wine Club is a little unique in that we have a 3-bottle wine club. We try and make it really easy for people. The goal is to sample our wines, 3 wines 3 times a year. So you get 9 different wines. Comes out in the spring and in the fall and at the beginning of the year. And if people don't want our recommendations, they can actually customize it completely. So it's a really easy club that people love. And as part of our Founders Club Wine Club, if you join that club, not only you get 9 amazing wines, you get a 15% discount on all additional purchases, and people love it. And you get additional discounts on our pizza nights and our 4-course wine pairing dinners every other Saturday. So, and obviously tickets to our Founders Club dinner in October.
Cool, are we back over here now? Perfect. So our reduction is getting really close. Turn the heat up just to kind of get it to where it needs to be. You can see the onions and celery have cooked down. The raisins are beginning to plump up.
Come on, you get in there and dig, you know?
It's hot. It's hot. And you can see the vinegar is cooked down pretty significantly. So that's about where we want it. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna saute our eggplant, saute our peppers, put everything into a bowl, and then we're gonna toss this in with it as well to finish it.
That smells unbelievable too.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites. You can serve this like in Sicily. A lot of times you'll see Cappanada with like grilled fish over the top, and just really simple. I like it as a little starter with some cheese on top on a crostini. It's a really versatile ingredient.
Chef, as part of the dinner series this last week, which was called Complete Seafood Dinner, I believe you used this with the salmon.
Yeah, we did an eggplant and summer squash Cappanada with some grilled salmon that paired really nicely with our Pinot.
And what were the other dishes that came with the dinner?
Oh, that was a fun one. So we started out with a shot of cucumber soup and Dungeness crab, and then it went into our Halibut Crudo, local halibut, served raw with some garden veggies over the top. There's tomatoes and mouse melons, which are like little gherkins.
And that was with the Sauvignon Blanc
That was
also,
with the-
right?
Yeah, that was with the Sauvignon Blanc. Then we did a shrimp dish called shrimp Mozambique. It's a classic Portuguese dish.
Had a little kick. It was really good.
Yeah, nice and spicy. That one with the Viognier. Our Viognier is a really fun wine to pair with because
Yeah.
it does take heat a little bit. So you can see this has a little, it's cooked down. It's getting a little bit thicker. We can go ahead and put that off to the side while we cook everything now.
That salmon went with Pinot. Unbelievable too.
Yeah, that salmon, that's our hospitality manager, Chris. It's his favorite pairing is salmon and Pinot, and he made me a convert on that. It's really, really a nice pairing.
Carrie makes some award-winning Pinot, which is incredible for the Russian River Valley.
Yeah, you can't beat salmon and Pinot Noir from the Russian River Valley as far as a pairing. I've done a lot of winemaker dinners across the U.S. and that's been more of an outstanding kind of pairing versus, mushrooms or something that, is a little what they would call the typical Pinot Noir pairing.
Sure.
Salmon really holds up well to the, attributes to Russian River Pinot.
Yeah,
So.
totally.
Chef, what was the final pairing?
Oh yeah, that was fun. We did this. There was no fish in the dessert. It was a chocolate, like a flourless chocolate cake, super rich, called Bocanero.
Dark.
Really dark, not super sweet. And we paired it with our Zinfandel. And I'm not one to pair red wines with desserts. We usually use our bubbles, and it was fantastic. Like it really worked because the profile of the chocolate, I think, is really what drove the pairing on that.
Very cool.
So we got a saute pan over medium heat. We're gonna put some olive oil in here, maybe quarter cup or so. It takes quite a bit. Eggplants are kind of like little sponges. They really soak up a lot. But we're pairing it with this super, high acid. So what that's going to do is balance it out. We're going to, these are going to soak up this olive oil, and then instead of being this greasy, oily thing, you're going to add this dressing to it, and it's going to kind of balance it out.
Okay, excellent.
So we can go ahead and get that in there. We're going to add a little bit of salt to that as well. I'd say probably like a heavy pinch of salt.
All right.
Not sugar.
Not sugar.
Not sugar. And this is one that is going to be really nice the next day. Like it takes all these flavors, it'll marinate as it cools down. Tomorrow, it's going to be even better than it is right now.
Right.
So like you can see, it really did soak up all that olive oil. So we're going to add a little bit more just so it doesn't start sticking. This is a pretty quick process. We're over medium-high heat right now. We just want to get this eggplant cooked. Then we'll put it in this bowl we have on the side. You got one over there as well.
Great, thank you.
And then we'll bring everything together at the end. There's some beautiful eggplant, Mikey.
Looks good.
Smells delicious.
So yeah, I think in the recipe I call for like total about a cup of olive oil. It's a big component in this dish. It's gonna just give it that body. And when we get that dressing on there, it's gonna be a nice balance.
We're excited for our 4th harvest of olive oil this year. It's got a big part, and it's super delicious when it's fresh off the trees.
Yeah, we on that crudo we did this weekend, we put some of the olive oil. It's just really, it's a good olive oil. It's got a nice kind of grassy little pepper to it. You pour that over a little raw fish. It's really, anything really. Like honestly, I like to finish most dishes with a nice drizzle of olive oil, whether it's roasted fish, a steak, or even like a pasta, just like a little teaspoon of olive oil to finish, a nice olive oil like what we grow here. Really nice.
How does the olive season harvest compare to grape harvest? How do you tell when they're ready? How does that work?
generally about a month after harvest of the grapes. So
Okay.
the last couple of years we've harvested in either November or December.
Okay.
So view it at a month after the last reds are picked from the vineyards, and you know there clearly is you know a science to the softness or ripeness of choosing when to harvest, just like there is grapes.
Okay. And then you pick and then immediately press it. Is that how the
It's very similar to a rosé in some ways,
Okay.
in that you harvest it in the morning. We take it to organic mill called Olivino, and it's literally pressed that day. And within 3 days later, it's returned to you, you know, in these amazing vats. And, you know, you let it sit for a couple months, and you're enjoying the olive oil within 2 or 3 months of harvest.
Nice. So a little bit more instant gratification than wine.
Absolutely. And the fresher the olive oil is, the flavors are
Yeah, it's funny.
are amazing.
It's kind of like the opposite of wine, where wine you want to let it sit and age. Like olive oil, when it's fresh, like that first like little window, it's just it really has better expressions of the olive, and it's got more of the flavors. Whereas as it sits for like a year or so, it starts to be more of like a cooking oil.
But when it's
Right.
super fresh, it's great for dipping bread or
yeah.
putting on salads. You really don't want to kind of waste it, you know, cooking.
Exactly.
No, absolutely. So our eggplant's starting to get some color. It's definitely soft. So we can go ahead and pull this out and put it in our bowl. We have a nice fresh.
I hope your mom's watching tonight, because you're turning into quite a chef.
We'll see.
I know, she's talking like she doesn't know how. She's over here flipping pans.
I've just watched for a very long time.
So now we're gonna cook our peppers, same sort of way.
I put your peppers way over there.
All right.
Again, maybe like 2 or 3 tablespoons of olive oil in there, and just medium high heat. Just gonna take the crunch off of them. Again, seasoning with a little bit of salt.
Thank you.
Look at that.
Hey, she's showing off now.
I think she's showing you off.
I know, she definitely is. That's most of the Quarantine Kitchen episodes, just me getting shown up by everybody else.
What's your kind of favorite season to cook in? You know, I mean, what produce is out there?
Sure.
What's the freshest?
I really like, you know, it's funny, like as soon as you get through a season, you're ready for the next one. Like
Right.
summer's probably my favorite, just because there's so many great fresh ingredients with tomatoes and summer squash and peppers and eggplant and just cucumbers. Like I love that, but then you get 2 or 3 months of it and you're like, hey, I'm tired of cucumbers. Let's move on to winter squash. Like, so for me, spring is great too. I mean, being here in the Russian River and being able to grow produce year round, it's just fun. As soon as you get through a season, you got a whole bunch of stuff ready for you behind it.
One of the things we're excited by is we put in a greenhouse this last year so we can get produce year round.
Nice. That makes a big difference. And the climate's pretty you know, it shows off well. You know, you can have some really weird swings in February of, you know, cool days and then immediately a warm week. But that makes it really nice to be able to grow veggies all year round.
Yeah, it's really nice. And to have Mikey here on site and to, you know, not just, you know, I've always supported local farmers and worked with local farms, but to go out and see where the cucumbers are, see how the tomatoes are coming along. It's the next level.
It's like, you know, the perfect time to use them.
Right.
Yeah. Very cool.
Well, I think we said earlier that everyone jokes around and talks about farm to table. We're literally trying to do plant to plate on a daily basis, which is just as fresh as it can be.
Yeah, absolutely.
mean, I really like that you guys kind of have a one-stop shop for everything. You can come do wine tasting, you can grab a meal, you know, you can bring the family out. It's really lovely what you guys have, you know, set up here.
And for wine club members, we have accommodations on the property. So we have a 2-bedroom milk barn. We have a villa property for rent for 4 or 5 bedrooms. So if people literally want to stay on the property and just enjoy themselves and not go anywhere else, they can.
So the peppers that got a little bit of color on them, they're starting to lose their crunch. We're just gonna, I've got the heat turned off, and we're just gonna go ahead and put our agrodolce in here to kind of get that final little reduction on it, and then we can pour this in with our eggplant.
It smells so good.
Yeah, it's a fun one. You can see all the liquid is pretty cooked down. As we drag a spatula through it, it definitely has like some syrupy consistency going on. We're just gonna add that in with our eggplant. And then we'll come back over to camera 1.
Really good.
All right. So now to finish this, what we're gonna do is a little bit of salt. And then we have a little bit of this fresh basil left. So we're just gonna pick these leaves and tear them in half.
Okay. I'll put you on that task.
Not a huge fan of, you know, chopping basil. I think it's better just to tear it and leave it in bigger pieces. It's not an herb. If you get a bite with half a leaf of basil, it's not going to overpower your palate.
Right.
It doesn't bruise it up. Keeps it nice and fresh.
And if you're using burrata, you have to have that fresh basil.
Yeah, exactly.
The bigger chunks, the better. Yeah.
Chef, with all these smells, I'm ready to eat.
I know. Me too. It's dinner time, man.
Sarah's also ready.
All right, so then we're just gonna stir that through once we get it all in there. And you can see that eggplant's kind of soaked up most of that liquid. It's not like super soupy. It's just kind of nice little kind of chutney kind of consistency. So we'll put that off to the side, and we're gonna make our crostini.
Right.
Got some baguette here. I'm just gonna cut like 1/4-inch little slices.
Okay.
Like so.
Get an example. All right.
Yeah, you make it a little thicker if you want. I'm just gonna season these with a little bit of salt, a little bit of olive oil, and then toast them in the oven real quick. I'm gonna make 8.
8. Okay.
8 should be good. Move it. It's stealing the show. Yeah, bottle of wine. We've got these sheet tray. We can just put both of ours on one.
Okay.
And we're just going to drizzle a little bit of our estate oil on there. Got an oven on the back that's at 425. Just going to toast these for probably about 5 minutes. I'm going to season each one with a little bit of kosher salt. That'd be great.
Okay.
All right, we're going to put these down.
Okay.
Now we wait.
Nice.
Chef, it's time for a little more wine, I think, you know?
Not going to fight you on that one.
This Chardonnay is waiting to be paired with the resulting product.
Cheers.
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 Cheers, everyone. So I hope all of you are enjoying tonight and also join in for our future Cooking with Countries on Sunday nights at 4:30. And additionally, come visit us in the Rush River Valley. As we mentioned before, we have a number of outdoor socially distanced tastings, and we're open 5 days a week. So we'd love to see all of you up in Rush River Valley and enjoy Sonoma County. Chef, it seems like the pickles must be about ready to start serving too.
Yeah, absolutely. We can do that. We can get that trayed up. So we got our little dish there. We got, yep. We got spoons right here. If you want to spoon a couple of your pickles in there.
I'll try to find the prettiest ones. Mine are very weird looking. But I bet they taste good. That's all that really
That's
matters.
it.
I always
The
thought
turmeric. And the
I always thought
mustard.
of zucchini versus cucumber pickles. I always thought cucumber pickles.
Yeah, these are the, I mean, you know, I think summer squash, zucchini, crookneck, all that, it's one of those ingredients when you get to summer, they're so prolific. And so it's like you figure out a whole bunch of things. I have a number of recipes for trying to utilize all the squash that Mikey grew for us this year.
We have a couple of questions, or just one question and one statement. One, Ann Sturman says, all looks fabulous, making pickles tomorrow.
Nice. Hi, Ann.
And then Frank and Maureen said, are you guys thinking of doing a Bricoleur cookbook?
That's phase 2.
The answer is yes.
We are in the process of brainstorming what that would look like, but hopefully 2021, maybe.
We'd like to do a Bricoleur Vineyards cookbook and a Bricoleur Vineyards calendar, rumor is.
Calendar.
We would like to do a coffee table book of men in the wine industry. Because there's winery dogs. I think there should be a winery men.
Are you comparing men to dogs?
Yes.
That sounds a sexist comment.
I mean, I'd buy it.
I think most people would.
You got to think outside the box on some of these things. I would definitely buy a cookbook from you guys, and I maybe throw in some nice Southern recipes and
Perfect.
help you out.
I dig it. I dig it.
Some donut recipes, some good cake recipes, some bread recipes.
Ann Sturman says, hi, Shane.
Come visit us, Ann. All right, so we have our burrata. We're gonna cut this into good sized chunks to top our crostini when we start assembling it. So, you know, it's probably like a tablespoon, maybe a little over. If I'm eating this, I'm just putting as much as I can possibly get on that crostini on there. But we got 8 pieces, so we can cut ourselves 8 little pieces of burrata. Yes,
That
ma'am.
looks wonderful already.
Yeah, and so you can do this with, I think I said in the ingredients list, if you can't find burrata,
Buffalo mozzarella.
buffalo mozz works really well.
Oh.
Honestly, I've done this with ricotta, like a nice seasoned ricotta also works well. But I mean, to go with this Chardonnay, the burrata is just, for me,
Phenomenal.
yeah, perfect pairing.
Frank and Maureen said the beet hummus recipe has to be in the cookbook.
Okay, you got it.
I agree. It's quite delicious.
All right, so we can pull out our crostini now. Ooh,
That could have been.
that would have been bad.
I break a wine glass about once a week regularly. They know me at Sur La Table.
That's awesome. So what we're gonna do now is spoon on some of our Cappanada. Yep, that goes on first. Little tablespoons worth. Usually not working with Crostini straight out of the oven, but here we are. The magic of television. So it's just a little spoon on each one. Then we'll go back and put our burrata right on top.
Great.
Like I said, this Cappanada is something you can make in advance. This will sit in your fridge probably for about a month and be totally fine.
That's a long time.
Yeah, you got the vinegar in there and the sugar kind of preserves it a little bit. But it is a recipe that will be better the next day. Like once all these flavors really marry together, once it cools down, the dish will benefit from that.
We're gonna have it tonight and tomorrow.
Absolutely.
As a single girl, I like things that last in my fridge over a month.
Sure.
Leftovers are good.
Leftovers are great.
So we're
As a
gonna,
lazy cooker, I like that as well.
Yeah. Same here.
yep. As a parent, I also enjoy it.
And as somebody who cooks for a living.
Yeah. Thank you, Mikey. You're doing a great job on the camera tonight, man.
So my first video.
And I could tell you were the cameraman because your hat's on backwards too. You're like
You're
really.
giving us secrets up.
All right.
Put it on the serving tray.
We got it now. We're up.
Oh, sorry.
We're gonna do a little bit of sea salt on top. Just give it that little crunch, nice flaky Malibu sea salt. And then we're gonna put some more of our estate oil
Great.
right over the top. Just drive home that flavor.
That looks like it melts in your mouth.
And then yeah, go ahead and throw, I don't know, 4 on our platter for display. And we'll eat the rest as soon as we turn the cameras off.
Very excited about that part.
There it is. It's a little meze, little hors d'oeuvre platter. You know, they're all pretty simple and recipes that can last for a little bit of time. I think the pairings are all going to be pretty nice on there.
What's nice about this is if you have a dinner party, you don't have to be making it just an hour before the party. You could make some the day before.
Yep.
You know, you could just kind of get it all ready to go and put it out and relax, right?
Exactly, and it's also like a recipes that are kind of like preservation recipes. So like when you get in the heat of summer and you got 50 pounds of zucchini coming in, this will last for a long time because it's pickled and it's processed. And same with the Cappanada.
And it's a low cook time too. You want to be conscientious of, being in your house, no AC here. And,
Right.
you want to be thinking about that too. And so it's a nice, refreshing dish.
For sure. Yeah.
Not too hot, but still brings that little bit of warmth. I like it.
Awesome.
Well, Chef, it looks incredible. We want to toast you, and taste.
That's tomorrow night's dinner.
And we want to thank Sonoma County Dinners and Taste Sonoma. And do people have some questions out there that they'd like to ask? Or
Mari has a question for Jocelyn. Are you going to make this for your friends? Asking for myself.
I think are a couple vegan, by the way. I mean, obviously the brine with the zucchini. And,
Yeah, I mean, everything except for the burrata is vegan. So if you did that crostini without the Cappanada on toast is still really good. So yeah, these could absolutely be vegan dishes.
Great. I just need a sous chef, and I'd be happy to make it. So.
All right, well, cheers,
anyway,
everybody.
cheers. Thank you, everyone, for joining,
you,
and we
guys.
look forward to you visiting Sonoma County soon. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for clicking along.